5 times, every single day. Whether they're navigating the bustling streets of a massive modern city or working in a quiet, remote village, millions of Muslims do something incredible. They literally stop whatever they're doing, wash up, turn their faces in a single direction, and pray. Welcome to this explainer. I am so excited to guide you through this today because honestly, this isn't just some empty ritual. It's the very heartbeat of an entire global community. But, it does bring up a pretty fascinating question.
Why exactly 5? I mean, why not 3 or maybe 7? What happened on one extraordinary night over 1,400 years ago that changed human history forever? Well, the answer to why Muslims pray 5 times a day doesn't begin in a dusty scholarly text or some legal counsel. It actually begins with one of the most breathtaking, miraculous journeys ever recorded in human history. So, let's dive into it.
Part 1. An extraordinary night journey.
To really understand this, we have to travel all the way back to the year 621 CE. Prophet Muhammad was going through a time of immense sorrow and heavy persecution in Makkah. He'd actually just lost his beloved wife and his protecting uncle, a period known as the Year of Sorrow. And it was right in this climate of profound grief that an extraordinary event took place to give him hope. In a single night, he was transported from the sacred mosque in Makkah to Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem, an event known as the Isra. From there, he ascended through the heavens, the Miraj, traversing entirely beyond the bounds of normal space and time.
This cosmic journey culminated at a definitive, absolute boundary, the Lot tree of the utmost boundary, or Sidrat al-Muntaha. This is the point beyond which no creation may pass. It was right here, in the direct presence of the divine, that the prophet received a monumental command. But get this, the initial command established not 5, but 50 daily prayers for the believers. Just imagine for a second the sheer weight of that obligation.
Part 2. The Divine Command.
Now this is where it gets incredibly cinematic. As recorded in authentic collections like Sahih Muslim, during the prophet's descent, he crossed paths with the prophet Musa or Moses. Drawing on his own experience with the Israelites, Moses recognized this incredibly heavy burden. He urged Prophet Muhammad to go back and ask Allah for a reduction. Through repeated, merciful intercessions, the number was dramatically reduced. 50 became 40, then 30, until finally Allah decreed 5 daily prayers. But there was a profound condition attached to this. The physical obligation was reduced to 5, sure, but the spiritual reward would remain equal to 50. Every single prayer magnified tenfold.
Part 3. The Evidence.
In Islam, religious law is built firmly on the Qur'an and the verified, authentic teachings of the Prophet. Consider this beautiful, tangible image provided by the Prophet in Sahih al-Bukhari to explain the sheer power of this new command. He asked his companions, "If there was a river at your door and you bathed in it 5 times daily, would there be any dirt left on you?" They replied, "No dirt." He said, "That is like the 5 prayers by which Allah removes sins. Just as water washes away physical grime, these fixed moments constantly reset the believer's moral compass." And that physical metaphor? It connects perfectly to the spiritual reality described in the Quran. Chapter 29, verse 45 tells us, "Indeed, prayer forbids immorality and wrongdoing." When a person bows and prostrates 5 times a day, affirming the oneness of Allah, it builds a deep God consciousness, or taqwa. It's a recurring spiritual discipline, It keeps the heart in check and acts as a constant guardrail against losing your way in all the noise and distractions of the world.
Part 4. Addressing common misconceptions.
Now you might actually hear a claim floating around sometimes that the Quran only literally mentions 3 prayers. But this misunderstanding usually arises from reading verses totally in isolation. Classical tafsir, or scholarly exegesis, brilliantly maps out how these verses actually work together. Verse 1778 commands prayer from the sun's decline to the night plus dawn. Verse 11:114 covers the 2 ends of the day and early night. And verse 21:30 adds before sunrise, sunset, and parts of the night. If you lay them side by side, they collectively and undeniably encompass the exact timings of all 5: Fajr, Zohar, Asr, Maghrib, and Isha.
Plus, there's this really fascinating clue in Quran 2238, which urges believers to maintain with care the obligatory prayers, and in particular the middle prayer. Classical scholars like Ibn Kathir point out something very logical here. Think about it. To have a single, true middle prayer, you must have an odd number of prayers in total. If there were 4 or 6, there couldn't possibly be a middle one. This specific phrasing firmly points toward the divinely ordained odd number of 5.
Part 5. The Wisdom of 5.
So, beyond just the legal obligation, why was this specific number chosen? Well, spreading these prayers from dawn to the dark of night yields some incredible benefits. First off, it ensures constant remembrance. Your day is literally sanctified as you transition from morning to midday to afternoon, evening, and finally night. Second, it builds unparalleled spiritual discipline and punctuality. But it's also deeply about community. Congregational prayers, especially the Friday Jum'ah, build incredibly deep social bonds. They bring people from all walks of life to stand shoulder to shoulder, which fosters unity and significantly reduces feelings of isolation in our very disconnected world.
Part 6. Relevance in modern life.
Actually, you might think a 1,400-year-old tradition would feel totally out of place today, but psychological studies suggest the exact opposite. The mindful pauses required for Salah, literally stepping away from our screens and worldly stressors, combined with the deep breathing and rhythmic physical movements, actually help lower cortisol levels. It provides a stable, grounding daily rhythm. When your day revolves around these divine appointments, you naturally build immense mental stability and resilience against modern anxiety. It's built-in self-care.
Part 7. The daily invitation.
Okay, so knowing all this profound history, how can someone struggling with consistency actually build a better relationship with this practice? Scholars suggest a really practical 4-step framework. First, renew your intention, or niyyah. Consciously remind yourself why you are praying. Second, plan your schedule around the prayer, instead of trying to squeeze prayer into your busy schedule. Let the 5 times be your immovable anchors. Third, if you are pressed for time, focus heavily on quality over length. And fourth, try to create a clean, distraction-free environment for yourself, whether that's at home or just finding a quiet corner at work.
I really want to emphasize that point about quality. A famous prophetic teaching states that actions are judged by intentions. It is far, far better to pray a brief, deeply focused prayer with absolute presence of heart than to just thoughtlessly rush through a long one. The ultimate goal isn't just to check off a ritualistic box. The goal is to genuinely disconnect from the world and connect intimately with your Creator, fulfilling that incredible meaning arranged on the night journey.
When you step back and look at the whole picture, you realize something truly beautiful. The 5 daily prayers aren't a burden, they are a profound gift. They're the direct result of a conversation negotiated on a miraculous night above the 7 heavens, out of pure mercy for humanity. Every single prayer is an invitation. Every prayer is a direct, intimate conversation with the divine.
It is a constant reminder that no matter how chaotic, loud, or overwhelming life becomes, your Creator is always calling you back to find peace. The door is open 5 times a day. Are you listening? I really hope this explainer helped illuminate the extraordinary origins and the deep wisdom behind Islamic prayer. If you enjoyed this and want to keep exploring the authentic sources with us, make sure to like, subscribe, and continue your journey into authentic Islamic knowledge. We will see you in the next one.